Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. We will start in a minute. I'm just trying to check if you can access the chat. All right, apparently you can. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, could you please write in the chat where you're joining us from? So I can see people from Egypt, Lebanon, somebody's saying good night. Okay, Egypt. All right, so quick. Hello, teachers from Egypt. Hello, teachers from Lebanon.
We seem to have also a couple of people from Pakistan and Jordan.
Hello, welcome to the session.
Ooh, Tunisia as well. We're 50 people away from closing anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh, Algeria as well.
Welcome, teachers from Algeria.
I see a couple.
Libya.
Also a couple from Iran, Morocco. Beautiful.
Yeah. 40 people and then we can close.
Oh, we're 8 people away from closing.
Okay, once we reach 500, we're gonna start.
And you have 500.
All
now.
right. Welcome to the session, everyone. My name is Rania Halabi. I am one of the moderators in the MENA, and I'm based in Lebanon. So welcome, everyone from everywhere. Yes, the cameras and the mics are closed. We are just participating and like chatting. Nice to meet you all. So some of you might know me. Some of you have interacted with me on the WhatsApp group. Others have joined my speaking club sessions. So welcome, everyone. So empowering educators. What do you think we're going to talk about in the next hour? We have 1 hour and we need to empower you as educators. So what do you think we're going to talk about? CPD, teaching vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation in 1 hour. Some strategies. Yep. Frameworks. Yes, how to join WhatsApp group. Empowering educators. Yes, we will be sharing all the WhatsApp groups at the end of the session. All right, you're not that far from what we're going to do today, except that we cannot do all of this in 1 hour. What we are going to do today is I'm going to introduce you to the teacher education group and review key topics discussed. So basically, at the end of each month, we have sessions for some groups that we already moderate, and we go through the topics that we cover during that month. So my aim is to introduce you to this interesting group, teacher education group, and review some key topics we discussed in October. And we'll focus on English as lingua franca, and also on task-based approach to grammar. Also, I'll introduce you to the topic of climate change, okay, and its relevance to language education. Finally, I'll show you different ways on how you can work on your professional development. So let's start with a quick question just to see who knows me and who doesn't know me. Are you a member already in the group? Let me just launch the poll and see. Okay. Can you see the poll? So 1 minute, are you a member?
We're also getting a lot of responses in the chat. Some people are saying, no, they're not. Mostly no in the chat, but we have 39 people saying yes to our poll.
So mostly no in the chat.
Yes, also mostly no in the poll.
Okay. All right. So those who are joining us for the first time, you will be introduced to different ways to work on your professional development, and you will see an example of how we work on our groups for professional development. Okay, great. Thank you. So what is the teacher education WhatsApp group? Well, it's a WhatsApp group, yes. Okay, so we meet weekly. MENA teachers meet weekly. We discuss various topics related to teacher development based on teaching English free open courses that we have at the British Council. And we share experiences, we exchange ideas, we collaborate on innovative teaching English strategies. So basically, we take an idea, we take a strategy, we discover together new methods, we read articles, we watch videos, and then we discuss together how we can implement them in our context. So if you're not a member already, at the end of the session, we're going to share some links with you and you can join the WhatsApp group. During October, we covered a range of topics. We talked about different approaches to teaching the grammar in the classroom. We talked about English as a lingua franca. And we talked about word stress, sentence stress, intonation, and drilling techniques. We also talked about climate change in language education. And we also talked about presenting and recycling vocabulary and assessment for learning and assessment of learning. Now I have a question for those who are in my group. And then I have another question for those who aren't in my group, or not my group, but in the teacher education group. So if you're already a member, which session did you find most beneficial? Can you tell us in the chat? Ibtisam, yes, you attended me. Yes, we'll talk about the weekly sessions later.
Some are saying them.
Go ahead, Nadia.
Jasmine is saying she likes all of them. The discussions are always interesting. Someone else is also saying 1, 7, and 6, almost all. Oh, wow. All of them were beneficial, they're saying. But 4, 5, 7, 1, 6, 7. Okay. A lot of them are saying all word stress. They're enjoying the word stress one. 6, all of them. They seem to be enjoying all of them, Rania.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much. Okay, that's great. Okay. Now my question is, my second question to those actually who attended, which activity did you try in your class? Or which idea you tried in your class and it worked? That would be great if you share. The games, all of them. Okay, there are a lot of demands to join the WhatsApp group. I think we need to get the links for the WhatsApp groups and then we can share them at the end of the session. Teaching vocabulary using games. Drilling techniques. Yes. Flashcards. Ah, that's great to hear. A question to those who aren't in the group. If you're not a member, okay? If you're not a member, which session do you wish you had attended?
Six and seven, 3, 6, 7, all 6 and 7. 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 6, 7, all again, word stress again, conversation fluently. Again, all right. 1, 6, 7. 1, 6, and 7 seem to be popular. 1, 4, 6, 7.
Okay, great. Word stress, grammar. All right. Nadia will be sharing with you some links. Okay, what happens usually, so just for you not to miss on these topics. So what happens usually is that we discuss these topics inside on the WhatsApp group. We take an idea and then we see how we can adapt it to our classes. We talk about its challenges, its benefits, and we brainstorm different ways to implement them in our classrooms. All right. So Nadia, in a bit, will share with you. Is there a chance to repeat these topics? Yes, we can repeat these topics, but also we'll give you the links, to have an idea about these topics. Definitely, if there's demand on repeating these topics, we will repeat these topics.
Would you like me to share them now or wait till the end?
Please, yeah, so we can move. So Nadia will share now with you links to these topics, just to have an idea about what we covered in our sessions. All right. While Nadia shares them, okay, I will move on. Okay, in this session today, I chose 3 topics we discussed in the teacher education group. So for those who already attended them, they can help us with ideas and share their thoughts. And those who couldn't attend them can have an idea of what kind of things we covered. The first thing that we discussed is approaches to teaching grammar. But of course, I'm not going to talk about all the approaches here. So thank you very much, Nadia, for sending all the links. So these links are related to the topics that we covered. So to start with, approaches to teaching your grammar. Which of these approaches do you currently use and why? So we have different approaches. PPP, TTT, the deductive approach, inductive approach, task-based approach. One, two, five. That's great. All of them. Amazing. Great. Okay, great that you're using plenty, but why do you use them? I mean, do you choose a certain approach based on the topic you have, or the age you have, or the age group you have, or because you only know this approach, or you find the other approach difficult? Why do you use certain approach, sorry. So 3 and 4, deductive and inductive. The age, topic, the ability. 5, yeah, exactly, Hala. Inductive approach and task-based approach. Great, brilliant. All right. So I'll move on actually to highlight what we talked about task-based approach. Grammar is learned in the context of meaningful tasks. So here is an outline of the task-based approach. So this is what the teacher does. The teacher presents a real-world task that requires the students to use the target grammar. And then there is a pre-task where the teacher provides the necessary vocabulary, structures maybe, context for this task. The teacher at this stage could show them a video, could show them, it could do a listening where they can see people doing the same task. And then the task cycle starts. So students start to plan their task and then implement it and then report it, share it to other students. And the language focus comes at the end. Here, at this stage, the teacher analyzes the language, highlights the target language, give the students more practice about this language, and then consolidate. So maybe the teacher would give them another task to use the same target language, but in a different, with a different task. So this is the task-based in a nutshell, briefly. So the steps involved, how we do it. Now, let's take an example of a task. Let's say that the teacher is going to ask the students to write a recipe of a dish, a simple dish. Okay, so class, here's your task. You're going to write a recipe about a dish from your country or a dish that you like. It depends. So this is the task. This is a real world task. Okay. What do you think is going to happen in the pre-task? Show them a recipe. Set the context, that's very good. Maybe a video of somebody is preparing something or cooking something. Yes. A cookery book, for example. Yes. Use a model. All right, great, excellent. Okay, and at this stage, we provide them with necessary, for example, with the ingredients, the things that they need to complete their task. Students go and then plan for the recipe. They implement, they write it, okay? It doesn't matter. Do you want the students to write the recipe or you want the students to video the recipe, okay? Doesn't matter, all right? So they go and implement it, and then they share it with the students. They publish the work. And then the last stage, the teacher highlights the target language, which is in this case the imperative verbs. And then if they need more help with the imperatives, the teacher provides extra support with that. And then the final thing, the teacher consolidates. The teacher asks them to do another task, but using the same target language. That could be, for example, the teacher would give them something to explain how it works, or a manual, or how to make something. So if it's not a recipe, it could be how, for example, how to fall in love in 5 steps. For example, I'm just joking, or how to make your teacher mad in 3 steps. So I'm just joking again here, but they can be creative. Okay. The idea is they learn the target language through a task. And then the language focus comes at the end. And then they consolidate this by using the same target language, but in another context. And this is why we say in the context of meaningful tasks. Now, this might be a bit tricky for A1 level or for students with low level. So that's why other approaches might work better. But when students have the proficiency and they have the level, definitely it's a nice approach to teaching a grammar. Because at the end of the day, when we teach a grammar or vocabulary or pronunciation or whatever, we want our students to communicate and use it. That's our ultimate aim at the end. So the question is, are all learning activities tasks? How can I know? Because we have our books, we have our curriculum, we have the activities that we have in our books. Would this make them task-based, good for task-based learning or not? Okay, how can I know if this activity is good for a task? Well, the question is, how's an activity different from a task? We also talked in our sessions about a criteria. And here's the criteria, okay? You need to ask yourself these 6 questions. And if you answer yes confidently, then most likely this activity is a good task, is a task. All right. So will the activity engage the learner's interest? Is there a primary focus on meaning? Is there a goal or an outcome? Is success judged in terms of outcome? Is completion a priority? They need to come up with a product. Yes, they need to complete the task. Does the activity relate to real-world activities? If you answer all these questions yes, confidently, then yes, most probably this task or this activity is good for task-based learning. Now, let's quickly check if we got this or not. In the chat box, tell me, is this a good TBL task or not? Students work in groups to plan a future class trip, discussing where to go, what to do, and how to get there. Can this task follow the 4 steps? Yes. Okay, brilliant. Does it have an outcome? Yes. Is it related to real world? Yes. Is there an outcome at the end? Yes. Okay. Do they need to complete the task? Yes. All right. Let's look at this. Number 2, role-playing is scripted dialogue for practicing present tenses. Is this good for task? So they're doing a role play, but it's written. Okay, so it's already there. They are doing the role play, reading it. Okay, and for practicing present tenses. So is this a good task? So I have a mixture of answers between yes, no, definitely, somehow, yeah. Okay, great. Let's ask ourselves the questions, the 4. So will the activity engage learners' interests? Okay, Hamad's saying no. Yeah, others are saying sure, because they like to read the dialogue. All right, no, no, sure, yes. Okay, let's ask ourselves the second question then. Is the primary focus here on meaning in this activity? No, 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 no. The primary focus is that they are reading. They're practicing reading aloud. Okay. Is there a goal or an outcome? So at the end of this activity, after they practice reading this scripted dialogue, what's the outcome? Is there one? No. Well, okay. Yeah, but what's the task? Okay, what's the product that they want to come with to use the language? Again, here I find a mixture of yes and no answers. What is it meaningful? Okay, let me then ask you another question. That's we have a set of questions and you need to answer them. Yes, 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 yes. Does the activity relate to real world? I'll start with this question. No, yes, no. Yeah, exactly, Amal. You're saying here we're practicing pronunciation only. So we are practicing pronunciation. But how are they using their English? Okay, to come with a product to communicate. Okay. Is completion a priority? Like if I want to see the product, do they really need to complete all the dialogue? Is this a priority? No, no. All these questions, that's why it's difficult for us to say, okay, I'm going to do this and it's going to be task-based. Yeah, but what? Task-based has these 4 steps. You give them a task that they need to use the language that they need to recall the language that they know or use any language that they know to complete this task. So you tell them, okay, now you're going to plan a trip for the school and we need the plan, okay, by the end of this task. They need to communicate in English, whatever English, okay? You could show them, you can prepare them, and then they work. They recall the English that they know. They use the language that they know to communicate, to complete this task together. And then the teacher highlights the target language. Let's take another example. Filling out grammar worksheets. This is another activity that we have in our books. Can this be used as task-based? No. No. Okay, so we agree on this. Okay, great. Well, role-playing scripted dialogue is something like filling out grammar worksheets. You're doing a controlled practice of something. You give them you give something to read out loud. That's it. okay? And you are practicing the present tense pronunciation. So it could be an activity that has different aim, but it's not a good one for the task. The final one. Students are asked to debate whether a new policy, for example, banning mobile phones in school, should be implemented. To present their arguments, they must use conditionals. If we ban phones, students will. If the students had more breaks, they would be more focused. So they need to discuss banning this, okay, the new policy. Is this a good task or not? All right, great. We all agreed on the last one. Thank you. Okay, so that was like a brief idea of the things that we discussed in our teacher education group. Okay, when we talked about approaches to teaching grammar, we also talked about inductive way, but we can't do everything in one session today. Another topic that we discussed is English as a lingua franca for teaching pronunciation. And when I say English as lingua franca, what comes to your mind? Task-based learning, Amira. Task-based learning. Amira's asking a question. Slang? Okay. Yeah. Can you share your ideas? When I say English as a lingua franca, what comes to your mind? English for communication, that's a good one. Schools in Arab countries, related. Accents, Arabic, English, informal, great ideas. Foreign language, okay. Correct pronunciation, bridge between, great, 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 great. لغة مشتركة بين الجميع. Yes, I can speak in Arabic as well. Okay, exactly. You're just correct, Khadija. Yeah, accent. Well, all right. All what you said is really relevant. Yes, yes. Oh, great. So, English as a lingua franca refers to the use of English as a common language between people who don't share the same native language. Let me put it in other words, like differently. For example, imagine a group of business men and women. They come from Iraq, China, Turkey, Egypt, Libya, and they come to a meeting and they need to communicate. So they'll be communicating in English, right? Unless each one of them speaks the language of the others. But they need to communicate in English, all of them. This is actually what we mean here by English as lingua franca. In this context, the primary goal is effective communication and mutual intelligibility, rather than sounding like a native speaker. So this approach actually values our accents because we need to sound like ourselves. We don't need to sound like American or British, or so the focus is, intelligible pronunciation, intelligible communication. So what does this mean in terms of teaching? Okay, this is a great idea, but what does this mean in terms of teaching? So this approach focuses on pronunciation features that help people understand each other. Our books, English books, are full of pronunciation features that we need to teach to students. It's there in the book, and we do them sometimes. Oh, listen to the schwa. What's this? It's schwa, and you know, is this really important for understanding? Okay, we will see. So it focuses on pronunciation features that help people understand each other. The focus here, we need to pronounce correctly to understand each other, not to sound like a native speaker. It recognizes that there are many different English accents, many English accents. Okay, there isn't one accent, as you mentioned. It doesn't aim to make students sound like native speakers. So it values their accents. We sound like ourselves. So it's inclusive, I would say. This approach is more inclusive than other approaches. And it focuses on key pronunciation features that are important for understanding. And this is what matters to us as teachers. This approach on key pronunciation features that are important for understanding. What are they? So almost all the consonants, for example, all the consonant sounds, they should be pronounced correctly because sometimes this affects meaning. Okay, so if I say pat and bat, all right, if I mix these two, I mean, I will affect the meaning. So I need to focus on all the consonants. Also, I need to focus on short and long vowels. Okay, and the nuclear stress. I need to emphasize words that contribute to meaning. So I just help students to pronounce the words that carry the meaning, okay, to pronounce it more loudly or more intelligibly. So that's the approach because we want them to be understood. So in this case, this approach actually doesn't give importance to the schwa or to the connected speech or big forms or, you know, and it focuses on what the students really need. So it adapts teaching to the needs of individual students. What do they need to work on so they can be understood? What do they need to work on so when people listen to them, they can communicate with them and they can communicate? So in this case, the teacher focuses on what the students need, not what the book actually suggests. All these features of pronunciations that we need to cover. So the key messages, when we teach pronunciation, we must sound like ourselves, okay? Being understood is the only goal. When we did this session, and we did other sessions, we introduced in the teacher education, because you said the most useful sessions were word stress and sentence stress and intonation and the drilling techniques. All of these are important for your own education. I'm presenting to you something here that's a new approach, but you as teachers, for your teacher education, for the knowledge of the subject, you should be aware of all these features. Why? Because you need to decide on what is the most important features and what's not. You need to be aware of all of these. So yes, so our main goal is just to be understood and not to sound like a native speaker. So what can we do as teachers? We need to use clear articulation. We need to articulate words correctly, model, drill, use different drilling techniques. And we did work on drilling techniques a lot in the speaking club and the teacher education. Use minimal pairs for practice. They're fantastic. Pen, bin, for example, pin, bin, pat, bat. All right. So focus on when you design your minimal pairs, focus on the sounds that would make the meaning different, will make communication more difficult. For example, phrase stress, help students to stress the words that they contribute to the meaning when they are talking. So that was all about the ELF approach, okay, in a nutshell. Again, how are we doing? Are there any questions in the chat? Are there any comments?
I've been answering the Q&As, so
Thank you.
if anyone,
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Flower, flower. Yeah, Muhammad, thank you for this example. Flower, flower. Sometimes in the context, okay, it's understood what they mean. All right. Sometimes, for example, if you go to a restaurant and you tell the waiter that I would like dessert, unlikely the waiter will come and bring you some sand. All right. So, yes, word stress is important to be understood. All right. But again, maybe there are other features that are more important. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. We talked about, and Nadia thankfully shared all the links with you about all the topics that we covered. But again, when we are in a session, in a speaking club or teaching education, we actually discuss them more in depth. Okay, great. Let's me move to the last topic also that was also, new in the teacher education group. We also talked about climate action in language education. Now I have a question for you. How often do you introduce climate change in your classes? Never, rarely, occasionally, sometimes, and often. Never, sometimes, often, occasionally. Rarely. Okay. Okay. Question for you. Does this mean you only teach them when you find them in the book? Or do you try to bring these issues to the students, to the class? Okay, in the chat, yes or no? I only teach them when I find them in the book. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now all our books, all the books in different areas, there must be a lesson or two on environment, on climate issues. Okay. Students should learn to. Yes. Yeah, frankly speaking, when they are in the book. True. Yeah, I know, I understand many teachers would just teach this topic or introduce it just when it's in the book. If they have, for example, a lesson about tourism, they will not talk about environmental issues. If they have a lesson about birthday parties, they will not talk about environmental issues. But let me tell you what, even if you're talking about birthday parties, healthy and healthy food, clothes, you're talking about tourism, all these topics, you can always add a green twist to it. You can tweak it and make it a green lesson. Okay. It doesn't mean that you have, to talk about environmental issues, but you are the teacher, you are the one that controls everything. You can always add this tweak at the end. But why? Why do we need to add this tweak? Exactly, but why? Somebody asked me. Okay, good question. Why do we need that? So why? First, let me listen to you. Why do you think it's important to bring environmental issues into your classroom? Why do you think we need to do that? It's related, authentic, no clue.
I
Okay,
love the person who said no clue. They're ready to learn.
exactly, exactly.
Others are saying for awareness. Present real topic, world topic, communication. It's also
Bringing
because
the world into class, exactly. Yes, integrate English. Yeah, great, great, great ideas. To attract them, that's a good reason. To encourage them. It's relevant. I would like to thank you for your beautiful interaction, all of you. It's today's issue. Yeah, fun.
they're giving me a run for my money. I can't keep up with them.
Can't keep up either. Yes, great, great, great insights, great reasons. And yes, these are why we are, we want to introduce it. And this is why we have a free course about how to integrate it. Okay. The first reason, yes, real world relevance. It is related to real world. It's around them. It's issues, impacting their environment, their context, their world. Okay. And also introducing issues related to environment require critical thinking and problem solving. And if you introduce environmental climate change into your classroom, you're more likely to work with your students on these valuable skills. You're more likely to develop these skills. For example, you ask them to help, find a solution for the garden in the school. Or, for example, you ask them, said, how can we be, environmental friendly in our classroom? They can't think, they see where they, waste resources, they try to solve the problem, they come, simple things. So these topics require critical thinking and problem solving skills. Cultural awareness. Most of the issues related to climate change has global implications. And if the students are aware of this, they might have a better idea about other cultures and other perspectives. Also, and that's in a different color, language acquisition. If you're doing any topic related to climate change, students who practice listening, speaking, writing, what else I missed? Reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And they gain a lot of vocabulary related to everyday, to real world. They practice something that they are interested in. And these topics, whenever I talk to teachers about and ask them, do your students like this class? They say yes. 90% of the students are interested in these topics. They like talking about climate change. They like talking about what's happening. The thing is, we need always to think, to make it more interesting, you help your students to think about issues related to their own area. Civic engagement. So more, it's possible that when they get engaged with these topics and they get engaged with solving some problems, they will become good citizens in their community, and they try actually to help reduce this problem. Finally, we as English teachers, we're the only one can. We teach language and we teach different topics, and we can include this in our lessons because it's a crisis. And that's why with the British Council, we have this free course, because many teachers reported that, yes, I would like to do this, but I myself actually don't know about a lot of issues, how they impact us. So for example, how do I know, that pair of jeans to be made would cost, would waste a lot of water, for example. Okay, that's for example. So as teachers, you need to educate yourself with these issues, and also the course would equip you with a lot of resources and tools and lesson plans and ideas that you can use. And again, you don't need to design a whole lesson. So let's say, for example, in your book, you have a lesson about environment. Fine, great, go ahead, ask them to make a project. But let's say you have a lesson about birthdays or parties. Maybe you can ask them a question at the end. So what do people, bring to the parties? A lot of cups, a lot of, food, a lot of, okay, what are you saying? When we throw all of this, is it harmful, not harmful? What can we do? Can we get some recyclable things? And this is how you can get them think about environmental issues with just one simple questions, with 2 pictures. Okay, just you can add it to your lesson. It's easier said than done, but if you just learn about these issues and how to tweak your lesson a little bit, also you could help. Okay, now talking about but I would love to introduce this topic, but I don't know how. I've got an answer for it. I've got a suggestion. So as I told you at the beginning of the session, what do you expect that we're going to do during this session? I would love to do a lot of things with you, but it's only 1 hour. So I will just give you the beginning of the road to discover more vocabulary strategies, more grammar strategies, more teaching strategies, okay, with all these opportunities, and help you to work on your professional development. So if you go to, so all our courses are free, and we have a calendar all over the year. If you go to this website, once you go to the website, okay, you could see the calendar and all the courses. And every 2 months we have a calendar. So you could see all the courses. You need to log in, okay, you need to sign in the page, and then you can see, you have access to the courses. So in October, we have understanding language systems, and this course actually started, but you still can enroll. Okay, you still have till the 23rd of November. So this course focuses on functional language and the grammar, and you learn how to apply this knowledge to your teaching. Okay, and then we also have another interesting course about pronunciation. So how to teach your pronunciation, and the course will introduce you, increase your understanding of phonology and your ability to support learners with effective pronunciation. Again, you can still enroll in the course. You still have until 23rd of November. And we have the climate action in language education. And the course actually will help you to integrate environmental issues in your classes, and it's open now, and you have till 24th of March. Another interesting course is helping teachers to learn and assessing learning. Somebody said the topics that they would love to attend is assessing learning. Also, this is open, you can enroll, okay, and you have till the 24th of March. It's self-access. All these courses are self-access, and you can finish them at your own pace. But also these courses are supported with live sessions, live Facebook sessions. They're supported with some nice discussion on the Facebook page. So all of this actually will give you a chance to work on your professional development. You don't have to enroll on all the courses. Choose one that you would like to know more about, and get engaged with the Facebook live sessions and the discussion on the Facebook. So here are all the links to register in the courses. If you would like to choose one of the courses, so you can register in these courses. Also, in one of our WhatsApp groups, we have a support group for those who enroll. So if you have any questions, if you find any problem while enrolling, if you have questions about the live sessions, so there is a support group, a WhatsApp group where you can ask your questions. If you find any difficulty in registering also, the moderators will be more than happy to help you. Again, at the beginning of the session, I said it's called Empowering Educators. So far, you have the WhatsApp groups or the community of practice groups for the MENA. So we have the online courses support. We have teaching primary, teaching secondary, teaching education, teaching writing, and teaching with technology. And the session, actually the webinar after this, the Tech Talk, okay, webinar, please don't miss it because it will also equip you with the coolest, actually, ways to integrate technology in your classes. And also we have our Zoom sessions. Okay, we have our Zoom sessions and they are only for the speaking clubs. So we have a variety of engagement on WhatsApp groups, on Zoom, self-study courses, and also still have one thing for you. Please join our MENA Facebook where you can actually find all the links to our WhatsApp groups. And you can engage in an interesting discussion about different topics every week. The moderators that you work with during the WhatsApp group or the live sessions, they are also on this Facebook page. So that would be also an interesting opportunity for you to be engaged in your professional development. I think I've mentioned different ways for you to work. Yes, I hope I gave you an idea how to empower yourself as an educator. And thank you very much for being here and for listening and for your beautiful interaction. Now, Nadia.
Yes. One more thing I want to add is our LinkedIn page, which I'm sharing right now. So they can also,
Yes, thank you.
If they're looking for, expanding their network within the region. I'll be sharing it in the chat box right now.
Thank you very much, Nadia. So I hope to see you. I mean, I always say the teachers in the other groups, but I hope to see the new teachers who joined us today in one of our in our WhatsApp groups, in our Zoom sessions, on the MENA Facebook page, or in the free courses. And there's a comment that groups are full. Okay.
Which is why we directed them to join our Facebook group, where we'll be sharing our new, not full WhatsApp groups. They'll be shared on our Facebook group.
Exactly. Please share. Yes, please join the Facebook page, and there you will find all the updates about the WhatsApp group. So don't forget to join this Facebook group because all the updates and will be shared there. One final thing, you might want a certificate, right? Do you want a certificate? Okay. Yeah. All right. Please, there is a feedback form. It would be great if you complete it, please. And Nadia will share the link for the certificate. There are a few things that you need to pay attention to if you want to download your certificate. Just let me share that with you. I think, okay. There are certain instructions, okay, that you need to follow. You need to use laptop to download it. Also, you should have Adobe to open the PDF. You click on sign, and then you fill and type your name, and then you download it and save it on your laptop. It's better if you download it on a laptop. You're welcome, Nora. I'm glad that the session was useful. Okay. So again, please. So it's better to actually download your certificate on laptop. So there's certain instructions, follow the instructions. So you need to use the laptop. You should have Adobe opened to open the PDF because it's a PDF. And there, okay, and there you need to fill in and type your name. There's the word sign. You need to fill in and type your name. Make sure laptop, you have Adobe, okay? Click on sign, write your name, download your certificate and save it. Okay, speaking club group. Yes, many of our WhatsApp groups are full. This is why please join the Facebook group and we will update you there. Can I have the link, Nadia, to the
Facebook group?
Sorry?
To the Facebook group?
No, the certificate, I think.
Okay, it's been already shared by Amira, but I'll share it again.
Thank you. And people are asking for the Facebook one. You're most
Okay,
welcome.
I'll share that as well.
Thank you. So please don't forget to fill in the feedback form.
It's in the chat box. The link, it's a Google Drive. Can you see it?
Yes.
That's the one. You click and you add your name, but you need to be using a computer. Our Facebook page, I'll share it in 1 second. Yes. Here's our Facebook page. It's also now shared in the chat box.
And finally, can we ask you kindly to fill in the feedback form, please? All right. Thank you. So okay, feedback form again. Can you share the feedback form again? All right. Sorry, Nadia.
No problem. Just let me find it. I think Amira sent that again. So let me just find it one more time.
Ibrahim, you need to click on sign and then you write your name and then you download the certificates and then save it. But you should have Adobe because it's PDF. If you're asking about the feedback form, it's just the feedback. No need to add your name. All right.
I'm guessing you guys are way too fast, so that's why the links just kind of disappear.
Yes. Okay.
You're
Can
writing
you stop for a minute, not sending any message, so Nadia can send the link to the certificate and the feedback form, please. Stop writing in the chat so we don't lose the link.
Okay, so I can stop people.
Okay.
Like this way. Sorry, guys, I had to stop you there for just a second so that I can share with you the link for the certificate. So you can all see it right there.
So this is the link to the certificate.
And I'll also share Facebook group. I'm still waiting for Amira to send me the feedback form, but this is the link for the Facebook
Yeah,
group.
I think I have the feedback for. Let me just see if I can send
Oh,
it.
is it on your presentation? I can do it. Don't worry. Is it in your presentation?
It's in the notes that I sent you.
Okay. All right. So don't worry about it. I'll do it. The last thing I want to share is the LinkedIn page and then the feedback form. So here is the, see, it's much better controlled. You're all just, there you go. And last but not least, you have your, is it at the very end? Was it
at the very end? Yes, at the very end, you have the link to the certificate and the feedback form.
Okay. I can't find it in your presentation here.
No, it's not in the presentation, in the notes that I sent you. In the Word document. Sorry, guys. Okay, just send it again.
Is it on Gmail?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Okay. WhatsApp. Okay, I got it from Huma. Beautiful. There it is. Don't worry, Rania. Got it.
Okay.
So the last thing is our feedback form to let us know if you like this and if you'd like more of this. And now all links are consecutive, 4 links.
Yes, so you've got the 4
Certificate,
links.
Facebook
Thank you
link,
very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Nadia. Please
welcome.
don't miss Nadia's webinar. It's at 8 o'clock. Okay, and you'll find a lot of, amazing strategies to integrate. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice evening. Thank you very much, Nadia, again. And
Welcome. It's a
see
pleasure.
you in our groups later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.